Today in the Diz List, we talk about the Disney Parks announcements at D23.
Welcome to the Diz List, the podcast that lists everything in Walt Disney World. I'm Nick.
And I'm Rob, and welcome to episode 111, where we talk about the Disney Parks announcements at D23.
Wow, what a night. It was late.
It was something.
So you're going to get a good cop, bad cop kind of a vibe out of this podcast, I think, today.
This is not a setup. I mean, I was happy with the announcements. My number one from last episode was announced. I was very happy we got cars. But I didn't love it.
Yeah, I know. We were texting back and forth, and there was definitely some hot takes from both of us.
Yeah.
I think we should save all of that for the second half, because D23 is not just parks.
Right.
So I don't want to get you too angry for a whole episode. So let's talk about some fun stuff, and then we can get your
So I had kind of a fun idea here.
I think it's a great idea, personally.
So what I'd like to do is I'd like to go over all the different things that Disney announced. Not yesterday. What day would it? Saturday.
Sure.
Yeah. All the Star Wars.
No, Friday.
The Star Wars, the Marvel,
Friday,
the Pixar, the Disney Animation Studio stuff. Mm-hmm. And what we'll do is we will give it a thumbs up or a thumbs down.
Okay.
That was a surprise. I didn't tell you I was going to do that.
I mean, I think there's a lot more thumbs up than there are thumbs downs, but you've got a list you're going to go through?
I do. You want to do that now?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's fun.
All right. We'll let people know, too, that I just got back from my trip, and we are going to do a trip report, but I want to do this right away.
Yeah.
Now that it's fresh, but we will let everybody know.
We're going to record the trip report now while it's fresh, but we're not going to, anyway, you know what I meant.
All right, let's go through our little list here. So I got a list of everything. The first one, what we're gonna do is I think I put movies first.
Okay.
All right, so let's get our picks back and forth. So what do you think about Avatar: Fire and Ash?
Kind of mid.
Sure. I don't have a sound effect for that.
I know.
Can I do both at the same time?
No,
I can.
Okay.
That's
right.
Both.
I don't have an opinion. I'm not a huge Avatar fan, so for me, that didn't move the needle for me.
Okay.
So if we want to say not moving the needle for me is a bad thing, then we can go thumbs down, but it's totally neutral for me on that one.
I'm just slightly a thumbs up.
Okay. Cool.
By a little bit. So
okay. Yep.
I don't have a ton to say other than I like the Avatar movies. It looks promising because the last one was water. Now we got fire. So
yeah, I don't disagree.
Lots of elements. Okay, Moana 2.
Oh, thumbs up. Definitely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Moana 2 for me, just slightly as a thumbs up.
Oh, not for me. I think the new trailer is starting to really pull some stuff in that. Okay, now I'm a little bit more on board.
There wasn't enough Dwayne Johnson for me.
I will say this. On a whole, I'm getting tired of having to thumbs up or thumbs down sequels.
Well, get ready.
Yeah.
Because the next one is Toy Story 5.
Thumbs down. Yeah. Just stop already.
The only thing I read is that it deals with AI.
Yeah.
Did you hear that?
Yep.
Okay. So I will.
Tech and stuff like that. Yeah. Go away.
Down. Yeah.
Stop.
Incredibles 3.
That was a shock. That was a surprise. I really like the Incredibles. I really like the Incredibles franchise. And so I think that one is a sequel I can be okay with. Only because, like, when you think about superhero movies that are live action, we got no problem with sequels there.
I am optimistically excited, and I will say that's a thumbs up for me as well.
Awesome.
Curious how you feel about this next one. Snow White live action.
I'm still confused. I'm going to say a thumbs down. I don't get what they're going for here.
Me neither. I'm not into it.
Okay.
They got to show me something awesome next
Yeah.
time, and those dwarves have to be cool and fun.
Yeah.
I'm gonna guess you're excited about this next one, Mufasa the Lion King.
I am. So I was very excited. I'm going to be honest with you. The trailer that we got makes me less excited than I was before.
Really?
Yeah.
We get both.
Yeah. I'm excited for the movie.
Uh-huh.
I'm slightly so now it appears that Mufasa was never truly
part of the family.
Part of the bloodline.
Yeah. See,
So they changed canon.
See,
I didn't know that before.
I disagree and liked it. That I thought that was actually really cool. Because now, like the original, the first trailer was like they're in the snow, and then I was like, "This, I have no idea what's going on." Now I at least know that there's an idea, so now it's okay.
Okay, this is like,
But I understand too. This is one of your favorite franchises, and I realize that
it means that Mufasa never truly was the king, and so Scar should have been the king,
right.
And now I'm like, is Scar the good guy?
Right. But you want to see it more now.
Yeah, I don't. This is
So you get double.
Yeah,
All right, fair enough. Next one is Hoppers. I didn't get a lot of info on this, so I can't really say. It's your turn, obviously, but it says a new Pixar film about a beaver and a human that swap bodies. So essentially big, but someone goes into a...
It's like Freaky Friday with an animal. But I think, from what I understand, is the kid goes into the... Here's what I'll say. It's a new, fresh idea. I'm optimistic about it, so I'm going to give it a thumbs up.
Okay, I will too. I will agree with you on that.
It's a new idea.
Yeah. Next one is Tron Ares music from 9 Inch Nails.
So
you're laughing because of our text last night?
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
So I'm not going to say what I texted you.
Sure.
But
because it's a family podcast.
If you are the age of Rob and I, there is a very specific lyric that you remember 9 Inch Nails for.
From the Downward Spiral.
Correct.
Yeah.
And the fact that they are associated with Disney in any way
it's funny.
Is hilarious to me. It's almost as funny as the fact that the two heroes of the Summer Olympics have been Snoop Dogg and Flava Flav.
Yes.
But like the two wholesome guys, like everybody's grandma loves them, and it's like,
well, Flavor Flav was at least a rights activist. So
I mean, to be fair, Snoop Dogg does a lot for inner city youth and sports.
Does. Read his lyrics.
No, no. I understand.
Music podcast would be a different podcast here.
9 Inch Nails doing the music for Tron. I am simultaneously confused, but also like pumped because I like that kind of music. So
I think that counts as a thumbs up.
I think it's a thumbs up for me.
Mine's a big thumbs up. I like the Tron franchise. The first one, although it didn't do well, I think it's cool and interesting, and I liked watching it when I was little. And I love the music of 9 Inch Nails. And
yeah, that's like musically, I'm stoked. Mm-hmm. I'm just confused about the collaboration with Disney.
Have you ever seen them in concert? No. Crazy show. I've seen them twice.
I'll bet it is. Yeah,
it's amazing.
Yeah. You know what I think is hilarious though? They announced it like it was this big deal, and like the crowd just went,
Who's 9 Inch Nails?
Yeah. Like literally somebody posted something and the crowd went mild.
That's good.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Okay. TV series. Dream Productions, a spin-off series from Inside Out. What do you think?
I think this is good. Thumbs up. I'm really excited for that.
Me too. Win or Lose, Pixar's first ever original series debuting on Disney Plus. You are a baseball guy. This is a baseball show.
I think it's softball, but
okay.
6 of one, half dozen of the other. I don't get the concept. I'm glad Pixar's entering into the realm of a show. Mm-hmm. I think this is a lose, though.
Okay. I haven't really seen. I mean, I saw the one little trailer, and in the trailer, the guy was like, the coach was trying to tell everybody that they were all great. Yep. And I'm like, oh boy, that's yeah. Anyway, okay. This next one may be a hot take for some people. Agatha All Along, the Marvel series.
Because I liked because I want Marvel to get back to doing the really good shows that they started off with.
This won't be it.
But here's the thing.
I think I gave away my answer.
Yeah, Agatha was part of in my opinion, the best Marvel series that they've done on Disney Plus yet.
Yeah, that was a good one. It was super creative too, but
so that's why I'm cautiously optimistic. I'm going to give it a thumbs up, and I'm probably going to regret it.
My interest in this cannot be any lower. It's a character I don't care about. It's not any part of the Marvel universe that I have any interest in at all. And I think they decided to do this show back when they were taking anything. They did, okay, let's do Moon Knight. Let's do this. Agatha, everything. And now they're like, oh, those didn't work. Maybe we should focus on what we're really good at. I would like to give it a double thumbs down. And if it's great, congratulations. I have no interest in this whatsoever.
I need Marvel to do a good series again.
Yeah, it's not going to be this one.
Yeah.
Next one is Star Wars Skeleton Crew.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm a thumbs up. I'm going to tell you that right now. I'm a thumbs up, but for a very specific reason. I think this is them trying to get kids into Star Wars.
Mm-hmm.
It looks to me like a Percy Jackson meets the Star Wars universe. I'm also very excited to get Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau working together on this series. So I'm a thumbs up.
One of our listeners and Patreon members, Mikey,
Yep.
is a huge Star Wars guy, and I was talking to him back and forth, and we both said the same thing, that we're getting Goonies vibes from this Star Wars show, which I'm very excited about. The trailer looked a lot of fun.
It did. It didn't look like something I've seen before. I didn't think about the Goonies vibe, but now when you say that, that's kind of a good a good parallel to make. Yeah.
Okay, Marvel movies. Captain America: Brave New World.
A thumbs up. Yeah, I love Captain America.
Did you see the photo of Harrison Ford as Red Hulk?
I about lost it.
It looks awesome.
It looks amazing.
And I think they showed footage, but I really only saw the one picture, and it's better than I thought it would be.
Yeah.
It works perfectly. So like Harrison Ford as Red Hulk, works.
When I heard it, I thought the same thing.
Yeah.
And when I saw it, I was like, whoa.
Well, amazing. Harrison Ford's so grumpy. It's like a perfect role for him.
Yeah.
But he's like one of my favorite actors of all time. He's just
not
a total
really
grump.
grumpy. He's grumpy in a lot of his. Yeah.
He's endearing.
Yeah.
Fantastic Four. Did you watch? There's some leaked footage of that. Did you see any of it?
I saw some. I'm not a Fantastic Four fan. I know that's kind of like I feel like Fantastic Four for me doesn't do it. And I wonder if this is them trying to inject, because correct me if I'm wrong, Fantastic Four could be in the parks, or is Fantastic Four not allowed in the parks?
Well, they're part of the Fox deal, because they were part of at least the movie part of it through Marvel. When Fox bought X-Men, they also bought Fantastic Four. That was all part of that deal. Right. So that's why they can do X-Men and Fantastic Four now. And Doctor Doom is also part of that universe. I
guess I mean
but I don't think there's a Doctor Doom ride, which means that is part of the universe of Fantastic Four, which means no, it cannot be part of the parks currently.
Okay. Well, I'm not a Fantastic Four person, so it's a thumbs down for me.
Okay. I am optimistic because I think it's going to be either an alternate reality or a time jump, because it looks like it takes place in the early 60s, kind of like around the time of maybe Incredibles. But I am optimistic, and we shall see.
Okay.
So thumbs up there. Next, Marvel series, they're going to do another Daredevil. Did you watch the original Daredevil?
I did not.
Okay.
I'm indifferent here, so I would just say, I'll watch it and see.
Okay.
But I'm not it's not one of those ones that moved the needle for me.
I loved that show, and I'm very excited to see all the people come back again, especially Punisher.
Oh, that would be...
John Barenthal as Punisher is awesome.
Yeah.
Because he's simultaneously, ruthless and has, this heart for his family. And that's kind of the character of the Punisher, is he's kind of this Robin Hood character. So.
Yeah.
Ironheart, I know nothing about it.
Me neither.
I don't either. So they didn't show much. I just know it's Ryan Coogler who did the Black Panthers. And then for some reason, Agatha All Along is in here again. Okay. So that's what we have for the initial announcements. Did I forget anything that you can think of?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I mean, not
if
that I
if
can...
I do, we can talk about it again quickly after the halftime celebration.
Yeah. I mean, I'll tell you right now. I thought that I was excited that they announced what they announced as far as the shows go. They announced Mandalorian Grogu, when that's going to be.
Oh, yes, I'm
a
assuming
thumbs up.
Yeah.
But as far as the other stuff goes, like that was kind of like where I was indifferent. It's not because I don't like it necessarily.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't know enough about it.
Yeah.
Like I don't. And I was a little shocked that at least one of the things they said, oh yeah, we just started filming, and then they announced the date as like soonish for movies, right? For a big blockbuster. It was like 26. And I was like, you're just starting this Marvel filming now, and you already said it's going to be in 2026 or 20. It was
even with a giant animation team, that's really hard to do.
Yeah, so I'm questioning some of these dates, but yeah, I'm looking forward to all those entertainment things. But the big panel was the next night.
Yeah.
And just like Disney did, where they took a halftime show, they said, no, go home, relax.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to take a break here. We do want to say thank you to all of our patrons. If you don't know what that is, you go to www.patreon.com/DizListPod. And there you can gain access to early access to new episodes and gain access to mini episodes. We usually do one every week. We didn't do one last week because Rob, as he said, was off on his trip.
Having a blast.
Yes, he did.
Living in a hurricane.
So if you want to go over and support us here, that would be great. And really, without them, we wouldn't be able to do this. But thank you very much. We're going to get back to you right after the break. Welcome back. Today we're going to talk about our reaction to D23 Parks and Experiences panel. My name is Nick. I am the good cop.
Yeah, I'm Rob. I'm the bad cop.
To be honest, I thought this was going to be a really depressing show because 45 minutes into it, we were still texting, "What is this? This is awful."
I was not happy.
So I think what we should start with.
I have a lot of notes.
Yeah.
A lot.
Yeah. I think what we should start with is the entirety of the show, not the announcements, but just the show itself.
Right. That's my negative.
Go ahead.
So, let me go down to the note because I have some quotes that my conversation my wife and I had together.
Yep.
So at one point, my wife kind of summed it up. She goes, "Is this supposed to be like the Grammys?" And I went, "Oh my God, they're trying to make this like an award show," which it kind of was. And then she says, it's kind of a good point. And I know you may not agree with this, but she says, this needs to be more like the Apple announcements presentation and less like the Grammys. Have you, and I know you're a Samsung guy, but have you seen?
I know.
But they do a very good presentation.
They do the same thing for all those. Yeah. I get what you're saying.
Well, not a great presentation. And then Josh Tomorrow says this in the middle of everything. He says, "No, you know what? I'm going to get back to this. I'm going to get back to this point because I want to lead up to it. I don't want to get right to the end."
Okay, go ahead.
So this entire thing drove me absolutely nuts because it was like full song performances. Mm-hmm. I didn't want to hear any of those songs, not one of them. Like the Indiana Jones thing, but we'll get to the fact that they announced Indiana Jones. Yeah. I'm assuming a lot of people listening might know some of these, and I'm going to spoil some stuff before we get to it, so sorry, folks. They played the entire Indiana Jones theme. It wasn't Indiana Jones theme 10 seconds transition into an announcement. They played the whole thing. Mm-hmm. Anyway, so big picture. It was full songs and then like a little bit of an announcement, and then full songs, and then it was. I did not like it at all. It is my biggest the biggest thumbs down I can give of the entire thing together. I absolutely hated the way that they presented all of the information. Now, on the other hand, I loved the announcements, but I hated the presentation.
Okay, so I think we're both on the same page.
Okay. Like, hated. I don't think you hated as much as me.
I didn't. So I agree with the full length songs was a bit much.
It's stupid.
I think the idea of presenting it in an awards show manner, which I agree with you, had that vibe, was a problem.
Yeah.
I agree with you that there was a definite feeling that there were going to be no announcements because we were like an hour in. It's supposed to be an hour and a half. We're an hour in and they've announced 3 things. And I was like, I texted you. I said, what is...
I'm looking at and to see if there's anything more from the beginning.
Yeah.
Because it was like running commentary from you and I. And there were so many times I was just mad. Like, how many times did I text you the word, "this is stupid"?
So I will put it this way. For people who are listening and being like, but D23 wasn't streamed.
Yeah.
So
that's a good thing.
This was not for us.
Right.
It was for the people in the room.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's why they didn't want to stream it. And I think that's why they didn't want people streaming it. I am not advocating for people to do things, not illegally, but do things against the wishes of Disney. That's not what I'm doing. But there were people who, there was an account I found. There were 2 accounts I found. One was off to the side and I didn't like the angle as much, that I sent you. They were sitting in the nosebleeds and they were filming from way up there. And they were live streaming on YouTube.
Which they weren't supposed to do.
Correct.
Yeah.
So I'm not
So we need to at least admit that we were we were watching something that we're not intended to watch.
Yeah. So I think that's part of it, is that this wasn't for us.
Yeah.
That said, it was bad.
Yeah.
The show was bad. Because what ended up happening was they crammed like 10 announcements in the last 15 minutes.
Oh my God. Okay.
That last 15, 20 minutes was bad.
Josh Tomorrow, I yelled at the TV when he said this. He said, so Josh Tomorrow, for the people who don't know who that is, he is the chairman of Disney Parks. Mm-hmm. He's kind of, and I really like him. I want to say this first.
Yeah, he's very personable.
He's great. But he said, and I put this quote down so I didn't get it wrong, so many announcements, so little time. I don't know how we're going to make time for all of them. And I yelled at, and I turned at the TV and yelled, get rid of the stupid music.
Yeah.
I was so angry. And my wife goes, are you okay? I go, no.
But that's coming from a musician, right? Somebody who loves music.
I wanted it to just go away. I was just like, I don't even know what to say.
We weren't meant to be watching it.
I know. You know what? We were meant to watch
Disney's
the canned announcements the next day from any of the Disney news outlets, the YouTube Disney news outlets, who I won't mention because I'm not going to. But they'll put it all together in one little beautiful package. And you know what? If I watch that, if I tune into the unnamed Disney news station that I watch and watch that little canned thing, I would walk away and go, that's awesome. That these announcements were great. It's what I wanted. I'm really happy.
Here's what I'm going to tell you.
Sure.
They did that announcement. And I know that people are like, just tell us what the announcements are. We will.
Yeah.
But they did that announcement. They did the announcements like a fireworks show. Okay? Now hear me out.
Sure.
Small little build up, music, da-da-da-da-do, boom, explosion. Small music, little bit of build up, boom, explosion, right?
Yeah.
And then they went for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, where they really didn't announce much. And they brought 2 dudes out to sing.
Oh, man.
A song that was announcing all the stuff.
I was so angry when they did that.
But look what happened. Because you were supposed to be following along on their socials. When you went, you got, 15 minutes in, you get an announcement that's kind of cool. 15 minutes in, you get an announcement that's kind of cool. Now we're 45 minutes in, and you get the third announcement 45 minutes in. You're like, that's kind of slow, right? If you're watching it from socials.
Yeah.
And then it goes silent, radio silent. And then all of a sudden their socials pump out like 8 huge things in like a matter of a minute and a half. It was like a fireworks show where they wanted the boom, 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 boom at the end.
It's a good comparison.
That's how I felt like
it's a good comparison. It's again, it's not what
it wasn't meant for us.
Right.
But let's get to the actual announcements, because the announcements.
Sure.
And I didn't hate it as much as you did. Like, I wasn't actively yelling at my TV.
I was yelling at my TV. It was like you've seen me watch Buffalo Bills games.
Yes.
Yelling at my TV.
Yeah. I was definitely annoyed, but I wasn't quite that bad. I think because I was trying to read into the songs they were playing, and turned out the songs didn't even have half the time didn't have anything to do.
And
with
like you were sending me, if the announcement's going to be this because this is the song playing, and I'm like, wow, you're really reading into this. And it was like, I'll give you credit here. Good. And, it was really smart of you reading into it that way, but then it had nothing to do with it. Like there was no payoff.
Yeah. I want one more thing before we go to the actual announcements.
Yeah.
He says, oh, everybody, when we showed you this poster, everybody wanted to guess what it was. And you got really close, but you didn't guess it. And the poster has all of the castle parks, their castles, off to the side, and a big
blank in the
middle.
Yeah.
And I was like, they're announcing another castle park somewhere. They're going to announce a park in Brazil. I said to you, I think they're going to announce a castle park. And I said that to my son because we were watching it together.
Yeah.
And then at the end, they bring up that poster again. I'm like, here it comes, here it comes, here it comes.
Yeah.
And they're like, have a good night, everybody. And the lights come up. And I'm like, what was the point of that poster? And why did you say we were close from guessing from that poster?
Well, here's the other part of that argument, too, is that it was called Horizons, which is that ride in Epcot that everyone thought it was going to have something to do with Horizons. So those were the two big guesses. Who's close?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I guess the people who guessed that they were going to build 4 new ships.
So Indiana Jones, who I mentioned earlier, that and some of these other announcements we'll get to were all just softball pitches. No offense to softball players. No. The good softball players are great.
No.
But it was stuff that we already knew. Like they confirmed a lot of stuff that we already knew. There weren't very many things that were out of nowhere. And we kind of both predicted, we put that up on our social media this week that we think we're going to be shocked. There were a few. Most of it was stuff we kind of already knew.
Well, let's
go through it.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. So at the very beginning, one of the nice things I did want to point out, because I don't want to be completely negative through this whole thing because I don't like doing that. Josh Tomorrow got up and thanked the cast members and said how important the cast members were. And he didn't have to do that. And I thought that was good.
I thought that was classy.
A, that was classy. B, he talked about the fact that he was a cast member and kind of related back to his roots a little bit. I thought that was great. I just want to point that out.
I also want to point out,
yeah,
I was excited right after he said that. He said, I want to point out that everything you're going to see tonight is in active development. This is not blue sky.
Well, that's good because the last few years, it was all like, hey, we might do this, but we might do that.
There weren't even there was one announcement a couple years ago that was an announcement that blue sky might start. They might start blue skying that. It's like, what?
Yeah,
you're talking about an idea of possibly having an idea. That's crazy. but these are in active development. So everything we say, Disney is actively putting money into.
Yeah. Development. So that the first two that they announced were both for California Adventure, and the first one was the Avatar land. We knew that was coming. They've already announced that.
We didn't know that it was going to be based on
the newish movie,
the two new movies,
and the concept art of the land looked different than the one in Florida.
Yes,
and they said that they're theming it a little bit more towards the newer two movies.
They did say that it's not going to be like a tropical rainforest.
So what I got out of it, what they described, and I thought they did a better job describing kind of what the ride was going to be than Universal when they were kind of describing their rides. Those were mega vague. And at least here, they showed concept art and they were like, okay, you're going to take a boat ride similar to like Pirates of the Caribbean. The boat looks similar to the Pirates of the Caribbean boat. And they talked about going to all the different areas in the lands of Avatar and audio animatronics.
I'm going to tell you right now.
Yeah.
I think they are repurposing Shanghai's version of Pirates.
Cool.
with the projections and all the stuff that they do there, I think they're repurposing it and they're turning it into an app. And I think
That'd
it's
be
great.
great.
I think it's a great idea.
I don't know. Are we doing?
Yeah, I think it's a good idea. Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. We can or not. I was I'm trying not to be negative. Again, that's great for me too. That's a gentle one.
Yeah. That was gentle.
Next is I swear, and so Nick and I were texting about this. Nick goes, "Where's the Coco attraction going to be?" Because they announced this another Coco ride.
Yeah.
I swear, and he said it's going to Disneyland, and I'm like, "Oh, cool, it's going to Disneyland." And then you texted me. You texted me, and you go, "Where's that going?" I'm confident Disneyland. You just said it, and then you looked at social media, and it said "Coming to California Adventure," and there's like, the flower petals in front of the the Mickey.
Yep.
And I was like, "Oh, okay," but it looks great.
Oh yeah, I agree.
Looks really good.
Yeah, this is one that I believe that should have been announced as a dual coast. We're retheming. We're also retheming Grand Fiesta Tour.
They gotta figure out the queue, because if you make a Coco ride and they redo all that, you can't. And for my trip, it was the longest line I have ever seen for Grand Fiesta Tour. It was mobbed that day. But it was they put up a whole queue kind of over by that restaurant area, and then it wrapped all the way around and all the way up top. Like,
it's because everybody. I think it's because everybody thought they were announcing that they're getting rid of it.
Yeah, could be.
I don't know.
So yeah, Coco boat ride. Then they talked about the parades. We kind of went back and forth. I was really hoping it was going to be the electrical parade, but I think it's going to be sort of inspired by that.
I'm wearing my electrical parade shirt because of it.
You are.
This is a thumbs up for me, because I think they need this.
They do
in that park. But at the time that it was announced, it was 45 minutes into the announcements, and I was like, "This is their response to Epic Universe, a nighttime show and
parade."
Oh yeah, a nighttime parade.
Yeah,
it's like, well, but it needs it. At the time, I was like, if this is what we're announcing for Disney World, we're in trouble.
Right. I give it a thumbs up too. Yeah. Then the Pentatonics came out, and that was stupid and useless. Then they made an announcement that I was hoping that was going to be an announcement that at the end they would say, and this is also coming to the Disney parks. It was the Lion King Land that they are going to put in Paris.
I was so mad.
I figured you were.
So I'm going to give this a thumbs up for Paris and a thumbs down for us. They missed out. I'm sorry. This is too big of an IP and too iconic.
Yes.
When you have a park called Animal Kingdom that you clearly don't care about upsetting the original reason for the park.
Yeah.
You're bringing Zootopia to the Tree of Life.
Mm-hmm. Which is, did you see when that's coming? Winter 2025.
Yeah.
Figure out when that is.
Well, I mean, that's how dumb Disney is.
Winter 2025?
So
we're almost to winter 2025. And I went on the ride last week.
No, so they mean next December.
Oh, you're right, but that's
yeah, because when does winter start?
For us.
No, but when does winter actually start? The season?
December officially, right?
So technically,
for me, I'm thinking, oh, maybe it opens in February.
Right.
You're right.
Yeah. So anyway, they missed the ball on the whole Lion King thing. We kind of already talked about Zootopia, but we can come back to that if you want later, because it's a later announcement.
Yeah. Then they did another live song. They sang "Just Can't Wait to Be King," I think. And at this point, I just yelled "Get off the stage" to my TV really loud.
Here's the other thing.
Yeah.
The people they had singing the songs, like Disney's a multi-billion-dollar corporation. They're announcing the things that kick off their $60 billion expenditures for parks and experiences, and they couldn't afford the original artists of half these songs that are still alive and kicking. They're not I'm sorry. That was another thing that I was a little confused about.
One of the performances was pretty rough.
Yeah. Oh, I know which one you're talking about too. Yeah. We'll get there.
Okay. Then they announced the Walt Disney animatronic. The Walt Disney show is going to be replacing. I forgot what it's called. Special Times with Abe Lincoln or something. Caring Conversations with
No.
Abe. I forgot
So-
what it's called.
Yeah. So and it's not replacing it technically. So
What's it really called?
oh gosh, now you have
I'm
to,
gonna look it
yeah.
up.
We're East Coasters. We don't know that. The thing about what we got was that it's replacing it for a time for the 70th anniversary. What's actually supposedly happening is that they are installing a turntable in that theater,
Oh, cool. I didn't know that.
and this
Did
is
they
what
say that? Or was I yelling at my TV at this time?
So no, they just said that they were putting Walt there, but that don't worry, Lincoln's not going away.
Great moments.
Great
with-
moments with
yeah.
Mr. Lincoln. He's not going away, and there was a building permit filed to install a turntable
Oh.
at
Ah.
at that place. So
Cool.
So the basically you can put two and two together. Supposedly after the 70th anniversary is done at Disneyland, because this was the big announcement about the 70th. After that's done, they're going to then have like an alternating, like which one you see.
You know what's crazy about that is Walt invented the Carousel of Progress stage show with the
Yeah.
It's
Actually,
so fitting.
It's actually quite appropriate.
It's very appropriate. And I said to you, while this was going on, I said, I am cool with this if the family is cool
Well, I
with
mean,
this.
they had was it grandson or I can't remember. His name was Roy, but I wasn't sure if he was named after.
It's Roy's.
I don't know if it was Roy's kid
It's
or
Roy's kid's kid.
yeah. So it's his great grandnephew. Whatever, it doesn't matter. One of the relatives was there and was waving and excited
Yeah.
about it. So
Then Megan Trainor, who I'm not even going to get into it. We had a conversation about this too. Did a Sherman Brothers tribute, a full song. I'm glad they did a Sherman Brothers tribute. I didn't need another full song.
I would have been fine with it had they done a full song with someone with ties to Disney.
Yeah.
I don't know what the All About That Bass Girl has to do
You
with.
set it up.
Well, what? That's
No,
the
you're
name of her
right.
song. I don't know what she has to do with Disney, but like they didn't even bring out like an American Idol contestant who at least was on ABC and so has ties to Disney.
So they did a full song, right?
Yep.
Then immediately they go into another full song
Oh, and this was weird.
of the Indiana Jones theme.
Yeah.
Like the theme kept going and going and going. And then at one point I go, they're just going to do the whole thing because they're doing the whole thing of everything. And it's just killing and eating up time. I love Indiana Jones. It's one of my favorite movies ever. I love that theme. I love John Williams. But at that moment, I'm like, give me a break.
It made no sense
You're performing the entire thing.
It made no sense in the flow of things. I thought that announcement was cool.
Yeah.
So for those of you who don't know, what they're doing is they're giving Indy a brand new storyline
Inside a Mayan temple.
inside of Mayan Temple. This had been kind of rumored for a while. Certainly the Indiana Jones part had been rumored, but I had heard the Mayan Temple thing before, and that they were going to do this. But it's a new storyline in a Mayan Temple. I think it's a good thing. I don't think that I'm going to miss, personally, I'm not going to miss Dinosaur. I know that you have, like, you jokingly like it, like ironically.
Yeah.
I think it's great. I also think that when they announced all the things that are coming here, it was very clear they're going to really retheme that area. Because they talked about it being a dense forest almost, and then you're coming into a neighborhood.
Yeah, they said Pueblo Esperanza, they're going to call it, in tropical America. I put some notes down here.
Yeah. Yes. And it's, I think I'm excited that they also acknowledged that, and they didn't say it in so many words, but they did say they were going to do this in phases.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's them recognizing that if they try to do all of that at once and take that entire area offline all at once,
It's going to be hard because
Right.
there's not a lot in that park.
They didn't say the timelines. My prediction and what I think would be the best timelines for them is to open or build and then open the casita
Yeah.
first.
And they can continue access to the dinosaur ride. Is that what you're going to say?
Yes. So
Yeah,
if they
that's
shut
what I
off
thought too.
if they shut off that area where
Where Triceratops spin is,
and Chester and Hester's and the carnival games, if they take that out, do that while you let Dinosaur still go, because he did say, "Don't worry, you'll have time to ride Dinosaur again." I think if they do that, open those two rides and then redo, because that's basically what they're doing.
Yeah.
Dinosaurs show building. I think then that won't be as big of a shock to the system of taking down two rides all at once. Can we talk about this silly carousel?
Yeah,
it's the dumbest idea.
So, I'm not a huge carousel guy. I mean, it's fine. I think it'll be nice for some of the younger visitors because they're taking out Triceratops spin and they're putting in something for younger kids. I like the idea that they have an artist who's going to be creating all the different animals that you can ride on. They said there were going to be different animals from Disney movies. Anything else on that one? I
just don't. So this is a thumbs down from me not because it's a carousel, but because the idea that this wood carver in this town all of a sudden decides to carve these animals from Disney IP doesn't make sense. It's like, let's just shoehorn this in.
I don't hate it. I just don't care.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm excited to see the Encanto Casita. I'm excited for them.
I am too.
For the re-theme of the restaurant.
Yes.
Restaurantosaurus. I'm excited for that.
I don't love the Encanto movie, but I haven't seen it in a while. I've only seen it once, and I was like, yeah, it was okay.
Yeah.
I did watch Wish on the plane.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So Encanto.
Notice they're not adding a Wish attraction.
Yeah. Watched it on the plane. The end. Moving on. So they announced the Encanto attraction. That is, they didn't say a ton, but it sounds like they're going to be inside the house and there's going to be
looks like a dark ride that they're going to be doing where you're going to be going through.
It's themed to the young brother who has the powers to talk to animals.
And that's how they're tying it into Animal Kingdom.
Okay.
And you're riding around. The ride vehicle looks like you're riding on furniture, whether that be a couch or something like that. You're going through.
Does that happen in the movie? I don't remember that.
No, I don't. I think it's just because you've been welcomed into their house.
Oh, cool. And it's a magical house, so the magical couch is going to move around.
I guess.
Cool.
And I don't
have a problem.
I don't know if this is an Omni Mover. I don't know if this is a trackless ride system. They didn't really give a lot of details there, but I don't think they needed to.
Then the Plain White Tees did a performance.
What was that?
It was dumb, is what it was.
Yeah.
Next, that's when my wife goes, "Is this supposed to be like the Grammys?" Then this is also when Josh D'Amaro said, "So many announcements, so little time. I don't know how we're going to make time for this." It's because it's all these stupid songs.
Well, at this point, it's now 11:30, 11:45 actually, because you missed the part where we're not going to talk about it because it doesn't matter to us. But somehow Epic Games got interjected into the middle of the park's experiences.
Yeah.
And they were on a strict timeline because they were streaming that in the game.
Yeah.
That was so weird. Anyhow, that's when D'Amaro comes out and says that.
Yeah.
And at this point, it's like midnight. They were supposed to only go until 11:30, and it was like midnight.
Well, I have next that this is when the two guys came out and started singing, like Weird Al style, like making up words for these Disney songs.
And I couldn't understand.
I couldn't understand it. They were talking so fast, and they let Josh.
It was funny, kind of. It was. We weren't meant to be seeing this.
I know, but it just wasn't. They were trying to be creative, but it just didn't work.
Fell flat for you.
And they were trying to make these announcements of things that were coming so quickly. And it was...
This is the grand finale of the fireworks, is what I'm saying.
They did Zootopia, called Better Together, is coming winter 2025. They sang that, and then quickly sang that Test Track is coming in 2025. And then I put a note, I hate this so much. The singing announcements were so bad. Okay. Then a great part. Hold on. then the great part happens.
There was
Billy Crystal came out.
So
he sang, but it was
okay.
This was cool.
But he sang.
It was cool. That was the only part I was like, okay, this is all right.
What does Meghan Trainor have to do with Disney?
Right.
What do the plain white tees have to do with Disney? Like, was Delilah a Disney character? Was Delilah a character? No.
I don't know.
I don't even know. There was one dude who came out who I don't even know who he was, who sang.
We'll get to that. What? Did he come up yet?
I don't even know.
Yeah.
Because it was early, I thought.
Yeah, why did I not put him? Oh no, he's still coming.
Okay.
He's next. He's after this.
So the whole point is, like, they have all these people who have nothing to do with Disney.
Mm-hmm.
And then you bring Billy Crystal out, and it's like, finally, at least this guy's got something to do with Disney.
That was cool.
And his announcement, like, literally, my son jumped off the couch and goes, "You guys called it. You guys called it." And we didn't really call it, but this was on our want list.
Yeah, this and Cars.
You said last week when I said the Pixar thing, you said, or they could do like a Monstropolis.
Mm-hmm.
And Billy Crystal came out and said,
I know.
We're getting a Monsters Land. And I was like, please say it, please say it, please say it. And they go, at Hollywood Studios.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, yes.
Well, and then I thought about it a little bit more. And that when I was there, I looked up and I saw that whole Little Mermaid giant, auditorium that isn't being used. Well, that's going to be perfect to put the track in. They just keep, extend that out. They could put the coaster in there.
Dude, this coaster. So for those that don't know, they are finally going to do the suspended coaster that we've had rumors for years with the basically you're in the door factory.
Yeah.
Or I don't know, it's not a factory, but you know what I mean.
Well, they call it the Monstrop. Oh shoot, what is it? It's the scare factory, and they just have the doors everywhere.
Right. This I could not. This is so exciting.
Yeah, it was very cool. It was one of my favorite parts. This was a top 3.
This might make Hollywood Studios like jump up above Animal Kingdom for me. Mm. Because if you add in that land, I love that land.
I'm excited.
I'm very excited for this.
I'm excited for walk-around characters, too, because they could use literally anybody. It doesn't even have to be Sully and Mike Wazowski. They have all those cool, crazy characters from Monsters University. Those characters are awesome. There's so many good, fun characters.
Throw a guy into the hazmat suit.
Oh, my gosh. That'd be
walk
easy,
around.
too.
Yeah, that's easy
Yeah,
to do.
with a sock on his back.
Yeah. Oh, my
great.
gosh.
So then they announced that which was I was praying for this. This was my number 1 last week. I'm very excited this came true because it just makes sense. And I wanted Cars Land to come to Magic Kingdom, and it's happening. So they're going to do 2 new attractions, they said. So they're probably going to it's got to be something similar to Radiator Springs Racers, but we both made the comment that it is similar to Test Track. It's almost the same. So they're going to reinvent it. So it's kind of good. They're putting money into it.
And they definitely said
copy paste.
They definitely said it was not Radiator Springs Racers. Mm-hmm. He said that.
Yeah.
You are not going to Radiator Springs.
Well, did you see the concept art? You're going up a hill and down a hill.
It looks like it might be like a rally race type thing.
Cool.
I'm going to be honest with you.
Mm-hmm.
2 things I noticed about this announcement. He quickly rushed through reimagining Frontierland.
Oh.
Reimagining parts of Frontierland.
Well, maybe it's
and
not
then
called that
and
anymore.
then and you heard the crowd go deep breath in, like, oh my gosh. And then he said Cars Land, and people were like, yay, but like not over the top. I think we're losing. I think we're going to lose Tom Sawyer's Island.
Yeah, I do too, unfortunately.
And I don't know that this is what they meant for Beyond Big Thunder. I think it's actually going to be part of Frontierland.
Okay.
But I could be wrong. I could be wrong. I'm excited, and I'm happy that you got what your number 1 was.
I'm excited.
I think it's my kids.
I wish you got your number 1.
Yeah, my kids are not Cars fans, but for me, I like it. I think it's great. They're bringing 2 attractions. So the one that is a retheme of Radiator Springs Racers, I'm going to call it.
Sure.
We don't really know. And then he didn't really
didn't say what the
elaborate,
other one
but they're
was.
bringing another one.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I wonder. Well, because Luigi's is the one where they all the cars kind of dance around.
Yeah.
I can't, and it's not like anything that they have in Florida, but the Mater ride is the same as Alien Swirling Saucers.
I don't think
the same thing.
I don't see them doing that.
But then again, Aladdin's Magic Carpets is the same as Dumbo. So
Yeah,
I don't
that's
know.
true, and that's in the same park.
Then Shabuzi came out and sang "Life Is a Highway."
So this is the one that I was like, "What?"
Yeah,
And that was an awful performance, by the way.
I think it would have been. I don't want to get on the music kick too much. He sang it really low, so when he came to the chorus, he was like, "Oh, night long," and I'm like, "Buddy, just go up an octave and you're gonna be fine." It was. I don't know. I felt bad for the guy. He seemed like he was struggling singing that song.
Yeah.
Just go up an octave. It'd be good. I've heard him sing. He has a single out, and his single's pretty cool. That was not cool. So
What Disney can't afford?
he's a big country singer right now.
No, I understand, but I'm saying Disney can't afford to have, like,
Oh gosh, who sang it?
it's Rascal Flatts.
Yes,
Like-
Rascal Flatts did it, but
what the
it's
hell are they-
originally it's a
what are-
cover by someone in the 90s.
Right, but they did it for the movie.
Yeah,
So
it should have been Rascal Flatts.
You couldn't get Rascal Flatts to do it? Like, what are they doing
They
today?
probably live in LA. No, they probably live in Nashville.
Well, they're not exactly busy.
Then they talked about the cruises. I'm not super excited about that, and I want to focus.
I'm gonna give it a thumbs up only because I think that when you start putting more cruises or cruise line, more ships out there, the potential exists that those cruises aren't going to sell out as fast, and therefore they will see more and prices more in line with other cruise lines.
Okay.
So I'm optimistic for that.
I'm not going to do a thumbs up or a thumbs down because cruises are not my thing.
Yeah, I
so
mean,
I'm not
I've never
gonna say
done one.
bad.
I've never done one, but I'm just saying, like, you never know. So
Then the group, and my wife and I were trying to figure out who they were before we looked it up, and it was All for One.
yeah,
And I just remember them from high school dances.
yep.
Anyway, moving on. Oh, and then I put, oh my God, I got to read this.
Okay, go ahead.
This puts in perspective of how upset I was. And it's funny reading this the next day. I wrote, if someone asked me if ITL, that's my band, Into the Light, if someone asked me if ITL would play D23, I'd say it would take away from the cool announcements and make everyone say, get off the stage so I can hear the next announcement. So I would say no. These are the notes I'm writing that I wouldn't even want to play D23. Anyway, next was Disney and Fortnite I have, which you talked about.
Yep.
And then mid Disney and Fortnite announcement, they said that The Mandalorian is coming to Smuggler's Run.
I don't get this.
They're going to do some kind of overlay where Hondo hands you off to The Mandalorian in the Millennium Falcon, which he doesn't fly. Who has the Millennium Falcon at this point?
Well,
the timeline, it's after Return of the Jedi.
Look.
Mikey, this is a question for you.
I just don't get this. Like, tell me that you're at least, guess what? They're recognizing that maybe Smuggler's Run wasn't the hit we thought it would be.
But it will be if we put in the most popular part of our franchise right now.
Yeah. Maybe. It's a weird place to put Mandalorian and Grogu, in my opinion.
It's all about the Millennium Falcon. They don't fly that ship. Maybe I don't know.
Maybe that happens in the new movie.
Maybe.
It was weird to me.
I give it both.
Okay.
Because it's cool that they're deciding to change it, but bad because how the heck is that going to work?
Yeah.
Next, Deadpool. I love the Deadpool movie. This was shoehorned in there and was so forced and cheesy. And there's no way that was Ryan Reynolds.
Oh, no. He recorded his voice.
I don't think so.
You don't even think it was...
I don't think it was Ryan Reynolds.
You don't think it was Ryan Reynolds' voice?
No, I don't.
Okay, so if you didn't watch this, because you didn't, because it wasn't supposed to be streamed.
Yeah.
I thought it sounded like Ryan Reynolds.
I don't think so.
Okay. So what happened was they bring Deadpool out on the stage, and Deadpool makes these crazy. And
Well, I know it's not him in the suit, and you know that too.
yeah.
But I still don't think it was his voice either.
Well, I like that they were. I mean, he, in true Deadpool style, was definitely roasting Josh Tomorrow.
Yeah, and he was making fun of Phantasmic and the dragon catching on fire. That was funny, but it was too long, and it just seemed forced. I love the Deadpool movie, but Deadpool's got to be Deadpool. He can't be
Disney.
PG Deadpool. He's got to be rated R Deadpool. It didn't work.
Okay.
It's cheesy. Shanghai Spider-Man ride next.
By the way, just real quick, the concept art for that looks very similar to what we talked about. We wanted to have done to Tower of Terror.
Yes.
So it looks like it's going to be a tower drop. Mm-hmm. Just based on the concept art, it makes sense. So anyway.
Then they finally gave a name and a little bit more info for the Avengers ride that they're going to do. They're calling it Infinity Defense. I don't like that name, but I think the ride looks like it's going to be fun.
And they announced, too, surprisingly, a whole other ride.
Yeah, which is?
Stark's Flight. What is it?
Stark Flight Lab. You're right.
I was going to say, I couldn't remember if it was Lab or Academy.
Yep.
And this looks really cool because it appears like you're on the end, like you get in this ride vehicle and then you're on the end of this like clamped on thing. I don't really know how to describe what it does, but it basically will help. Supposedly it's going to imitate the different flight styles of different people within the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Yeah, it looked very cool, very interesting.
This is a big deal because they're adding like 4 acres worth of stuff to Avengers Campus. It's going to be, they're doubling the size of Avengers Campus.
Right, and I'm also guessing that just north of that is where they're going to put in that whole Avatar. I think that's going to go there. So that would be the top right-hand corner of the park, if that makes sense.
It does.
So then Deadpool was still out there, and the winner of American Idol, I think they said, Abby Carter sang Like a Prayer.
Yep.
It was cool, but too long. And I said, get out of here. And I love Madonna, and but I just didn't want to hear a full song at that point, and I was just getting so irritated.
It was weird.
Because it was like, what, 12:30, almost 1 o'clock at this point for us?
It was late.
And I was just, at this point, I wasn't yelling at my TV. I was just like, oh my God. You know what?
It really wasn't made for us, but yes, I agree. It was weird.
Yeah. Then this part actually made me really mad.
Okay.
And I will tell you why. So Josh is out on stage, and the magic mirror comes out on the screen. Magic mirror from Snow White, and says, Josh, you promised something last year. You made a promise that you have to keep. There was one land that you, like, basically majorly hinting at Villain's Land. Mm-hmm. Then, a full song. Somebody comes out and sings. It's like, and does a song, and they don't announce Villain's Land. And I'm sitting there like, are you kidding me? So again, here's the note that I wrote down. Here's what this was to me. It's like when you're watching a show and they go, and the winner is, and they go to a commercial. That's what this was. Because they said, well, you promised something, evil magic mirror, and then they do this song. And I'm just sitting there like, how do I hit the fast forward button? It's like, do you know what I mean?
I do.
When they announce the winner and they go to commercial,
it wasn't meant
for us.
Was. It wasn't meant for us.
Correct.
I'm trying to be the voice of reason.
I know.
For you.
I'm struggling here.
Because you texted me. You were
mad.
At this point, you were angry. Like, it was very clear. You know how sometimes in text you're like, is that? Like? I knew you were angry.
I was mad.
Yeah, but they did announce.
Yeah, that we're getting. You can finish it.
Yeah, they did announce we're getting Villain's Land.
Yeah,
and they announced that there's going to be shopping, dining, and 2 rides.
Yeah, I'm hoping one will be the rethemed, the original Incredicoaster. Oh, maybe no, that might not be true either, because it was California Screamin'. Then the retheme was supposed to be Villains. Then they decided to go back to Incredible.
If you look very closely at the Disney released concept art, there is a coaster in the background.
Great.
Around Chernobog's Mountain.
Great. That would be awesome.
And so I think you're getting an e-ticket attraction right there.
That would be fantastic.
And so that was...
And that brings us to the end.
That was it.
Yeah.
And I will tell you, while it sounds like that's, when I said that was it, sounds like we're saying, got some sour grapes. Not at all.
No. And I'm very happy. I just hated the way that the show went. And Nick, again, I will say it for him. It wasn't for us. I know it wasn't for us. I get that now. And I also realize, reflecting back, that if I just turned on that news station and they gave me the, ABCD 1, 2, 3, 4, here's all the announcements, I'd be jumping for joy. But I needed to know, that's the other thing too. I got to watch it. I can't watch the Bills game later in the day. I got to watch the Bills when they're playing. You know what I mean? It's this mental thing for me. I got to know.
I'm going to be honest with you. I think Disney misunderstood how big of a deal this is to a lot of their fandom. And I get that Comic-Con doesn't stream. I get that, when DC makes announcements, they don't stream.
Yeah.
I get those things. You are not Comic-Con. You are not DC. You are Disney. And I got news for you. If they did what they did by not streaming it because they thought they were going to get more people into the Honda Center, they were going to sell out the Honda Center whether they streamed it or not.
Yeah.
Because all those people that went there assumed it was going to be streamed, because up until a week ago, people were talking about can't wait for the stream.
Yeah.
And then they announced that they weren't streaming it. And everybody was like, wait, what?
Yeah.
Why are you not streaming this?
I know.
And it doesn't make sense to me that they wouldn't stream it. They have a digital platform
that they can. I don't know if they do.
They did it last year on on Disney Plus.
It was live?
Yes.
Wow.
I'm almost certain it was on Disney Plus.
I'm not doubting you. I'm just trying to think in my head if I can think of anything on the Disney Plus platform that I've watched that's been streamed live.
I mean,
I'm sure.
I'm pretty sure.
It's possible.
Well, I mean, they own Hulu,
and they own ESPN, which does it too.
Yeah.
So they own ESPN.
I mean, they do live streaming. They can do live streaming. This is not an issue for them.
Yeah.
And guess what? I wouldn't have been watching some bootleg, awful quality, not really kosher, legal. I don't know what's going on there.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have been watching it on that. I would have been watching theirs, and maybe the production quality would have been like, hey, I kind of get why they're doing this. I still wouldn't understand why they did the full songs and stuff, but I don't really have too much more to say. Yeah, it was. I'm excited. Look, the announcements we got were good.
We're great. They were
Listen,
great.
We always rank stuff, right?
Yes.
Let's rank really quickly. Just a quick, no explanation. Just rank them.
Sure.
Want to do top 3 instead of top 5? Our top 3 for announcement, or we can do top 5 if you want.
I can do top 3 easy right now.
Okay, go ahead.
My top 3 are going to be Monsters Inc. would be 3.
Yep.
I would say, shockingly, Cars Land is 2, even though I made it 1 last week. And I would say The Villains Land is 1.
I'm going to go very similar, but I'm going to go, I'm going to say that the Cars Land 3, Monsters Inc. 2, Villains 1.
Okay.
Especially because they said dining, shopping, and 2 rides. And then, by the way, we didn't say this. He said in the middle of that,
he said what in the middle of it?
He's like, there's already land being moved. We're already moving land.
Maybe they were. I mean, I was there last week.
Yeah, I'm just
behind the trees.
I'm telling you what he said.
Yeah, yeah.
He's like, oh, and by the way, we're already moving land on this. This is happening.
Great.
Like, what? That's awesome.
It is.
So, all in all, I thought it was good announcements. I give the announcements a big thumbs up.
Me too.
I give the format a big thumbs down.
That was a double. That was aggressive. I loved it.
Yeah. It was not great the format they did. But, it is what it is. It wasn't for us, so I'm going to give them a pass.
Right. And I realize I was very negative today. And look, that's part of the show is I am honest. And I don't come on and everything is not always, rainbows and lollipops or whatever the term is.
Yeah.
But, our next episode is a trip report. I had a great trip. So many fun stories.
I am
funny things.
I'm looking forward to it.
I almost grabbed a bird out of the air. Like really great stuff. Like I know you're waiting for that story. See, that's a little teaser for next episode.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah. And I do want to say we're going to address the maybe not elephant in the room. The Dumbo. We'll address Dumbo, who's in the room. So we didn't say anything last week because we weren't sure how this was going to work out, but it worked out okay.
Yeah.
You can now check us out over at YouTube, youtube.com at DizListPod over on YouTube. So we wanted to thank those of you who've already done so, but we wanted to take the next step and try to grow this podcast. And I think the next logical step is to do video. We're learning, we're changing things. We're, already talking about how we're going to redo the mic setup and how we're going to reset the studio to better fit us. But join us over on YouTube. Just search us up at DizListPod over on YouTube, and you're going to be able to join us there too.
And we're going to ask every week for you to, if you know somebody that's a Disney Parks fan or is taking a trip very soon, we invite you to share it with a friend. It would mean a lot to us. We are a listener-supported podcast. We don't get any money or any ads, but this is how we grow organically through you. Mm-hmm. So we would love it. Please share it with a friend and help us grow.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you very much. It's a great, big, beautiful tomorrow, and tomorrow is just a list away.
Tune in next time, and we'll see you real soon.